Welcome back. The AI boom fueling a massive surge in utility demand. Data centers are consuming unprecedented amounts of electricity as technology giants race to build out the infrastructure needed to meet the demand for this AI build-out. Goldman Sachs is projecting AI build-out spending will hit over $5 trillion by 2030. Exelon Corporation is at the center of all of this, helping to manage the utilities needed to operate these data centers while keeping costs low for consumers. Joining me now is the president and CEO of Exelon Corporation, Calvin Butler. Calvin, great to see you.
Good morning, Maria. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So tell us about the backdrop here. Have you ever seen anything like this? What does demand look like from your standpoint in this AI build-out?
It's real. And to your direct question, no, I haven't. It's been about 40 years since we've seen this type of load growth, and that was with the advent of air conditioning. So put that in perspective. Some people are saying, hey, all this load growth or demand is going to materialize. But even if half of it materializes, it's real. And it's impacting our customers' bills every day.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean in terms of all the money that you're seeing driving this build-out? I mean, you're talking about, $1 trillion this year alone. That's just the hyperscalers. Where's the money coming from in terms of this spend? And is it all borrowed?
Well, I can't go to where they're getting their money from, but they are definitely building out data centers across our service territories. So what that means for a utility like Exelon, we have to continue to provide the backbone, the infrastructure, to connect them and to make it a reality. So we're spending $10 billion in infrastructure this year to meet that demand and also to ensure reliability and resiliency comes through for our everyday customers.
Should we be worried about the grid? I mean, there's so much demand.
Well, you shouldn't be worried about the grid. We have one of the most reliable grids in the world. But having said that, this grid is being called on to do things today that it hadn't had to do yesterday. So the investments are critical, and we're also seeing increased weather patterns happening. So all of those things have to go. I always say this, if the lights don't come on, everyone else, they don't care about all the rest of it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, in your earnings, you talked about your capital plan, your 4-year capital plan to $41.7 billion. That's up from $41.3 billion. Tell me about securing TSAs and your financing plan, how you get there.
So our capital plan is robust because we have to meet this time. And $41.7 billion through 2029 is a key. But what we have done is we've put in place transmission security agreements in which we protect the ultimate customer, the small business, the residential, from cost shifting from those large users who are asking us to build out the transmission and distribution system to meet their demand. We've put in caveats where they are paying for the upgrades that are needed, and if the load doesn't materialize, they are on the hook for it through letters of credit or collateral that they're putting up front, which is key to protect all the other customers. We call that responsible growth, and that's what we're leaning into.
Well, by the way, that's exactly how President Trump sees it as well, yes. So asking the technology companies to take on the cost of power as well. Now, Exelon is weighing options for building and owning regulated power generation plants across mid-Atlantic states as electricity costs are going up significantly. What can you tell us about that plan? Residential costs across the U.S. averaging $95 a month in New Mexico, all the way up to $200 in Hawaii, Calvin.
It's real. When you see this demand and lack of supply, what Exelon is saying, we must take an all-of-the-above approach. So we're not trying to replace merchant generation, but we're saying let's supplement it with utility-owned generation. We operate within the PJM marketplace, the largest regional transmission regulator across the country. 13 states, 65 million customers. The price spikes within PJM are higher because we have not seen the supply materialize to serve customers. So regulated generation is an option because it gives you certainty, cost, and you know it will be built and controlled by regulators overseeing it. Again, not trying to replace generators, but trying to supplement it to lower prices for everyone.
Well, which is why you came out with the Exelon Promise.
Yes.
Tell us about that. This is focused on affordability.
It is.
Because you see that customers are getting impacted by this build-out in terms of higher electricity expense.
That's it. I'm in New York to speak at the Reuters Global Energy Forum, and we're talking about putting customers first. Putting customers first means that Exelon Promise, putting the customers at the center of everything we do, helping them lower their bills, giving immediate relief, talking about really pushing policy to get regulated generation, and also advocating for broad-scale changes in how generation comes to the stack. We are out front in pushing that and really driving for momentum in the industry.
In terms of powering up the AI data boom, it's not just electricity, right? Or is it largely electricity? Because I know the president has asked for all hands on deck with regard to nuclear, oil and gas, electric.
All of it, all of the above approach, because you cannot get there without a strong infrastructure. We like to say in the energy and electric industry, we're 5% of the GDP, but we power the next 95. So we are all in this together, and we're learning from the tech companies, and we're partnering with them to make sure responsible growth occurs across the country.
I mean, this is why you've got people like Bernie Sanders out there saying that he wants a moratorium on the data center build-out.
I don't think that's the right way to go.
I mean, it's not realistic with China where it is.
It's not, because I do believe this is a security issue. We just have to get this right. And you see some companies out there really going in and saying, look, we're going to bring our own generation. We're going to pay for our own upgrades. And there's a way to do it. And there's companies out there that have put the model in place, and we're partnering with them.
What are the real costs here in terms of what customers are feeling? How different is it today than, let's say, a year ago?
Yeah, it's a great question. Let me put it in perspective for you. An average residential customer has seen their bills go up 75 to 80%.
Wow.
And the majority of that is lack of supply. So what we have to do, Marie, at the end of the day is bring more supply on the grid. If we don't do that, all the rest of this is noise.
How do you do it?
I would say, one, require the large users to build their own generation. We can't take existing generation off the system to meet their needs.
And in terms of putting more power there, what will that cost? How do you execute that in a timely fashion?
I would tell you, it has to be an all of the above approach. You need to incorporate, like the president said, from nuclear, gas, and so forth, but you also do need battery storage. You do need community solar. All of those things can be done at a quicker turnaround, and you need to get those kilowatts and megawatts on the system ASAP, as well as those molecules, because you need everyone putting into this, and we need permitting reform to build sooner rather than later.
Well, this is a good point, because this is something that I think the Congress actually understands. They have to codify some of these executive orders that President Trump has put out in terms of permitting reform. That's probably a priority that needs to get done sooner rather than later.
I agree. It takes us too long to build things, and we need to remove the barriers to get things built and to ensure that we can move this country forward by building in real time and getting that capital to work.
Yeah, that is exactly why President Trump has created this industrial revolution. Do you compare this to a massive industrial revolution that we're seeing right now? I mean,
it's a tech revolution.
It's a tech revolution.
It really is. It was changing the way we're doing things, and we cannot continue to play by the old rules in this new age. And that's what we're pushing at PJM. We're talking about it at FERC. We're talking about it in our state commissions. We can't use the same guidelines that we've been using for the last 20 to 40 years and say we're going to get to this new destination.
So the growth at Exelon comes from where in the coming couple of years?
The growth from Exelon comes from investing in our infrastructure and meeting our customers' needs. We're going to rise up and meet this time, and we're going to do that together with our customers.
All right, we will leave it there. Calvin, congrats on being the keynote today. We're going to be listening for your speech.
Thank you.
And come back soon.
Good to see you.
Thanks so much. Calvin Butler here from Exelon. We'll be right back. Stay with us.